The Cheshire Murders.
One of the worst crimes in Connecticut history, as the New York Times called it, was notable neither for a sensational body count nor for brainwashed perpetrators. Only 3 people died on the night of July 23, 2007, at 300 Sorghum Mill Drive in Cheshire, Connecticut. Welcome to Just One's Crime Scene, the true crime stories. Let us start. One father survived only to lose his wife and children. William Petit, the only survivor of the home invasion, is an endocrinologist in Cheshire. He survived when he escaped to a neighbor's house, even though he had injuries. On July 23, 2007, news of an unspeakable tragedy spread across the town of Cheshire, Connecticut. 3 innocent people were left dead, and another severely injured in the wake of a brutal home invasion. The evening before, on a quiet Sunday, 48-year-old Jennifer Hawk Petit and her 11-year-old daughter, Michaela, took a trip to their local Stop and Shop. Michaela was going to make her family dinner, and the two needed to pick up some ingredients for the occasion. They couldn't have known that they would catch the eye of Joshua Komisarjevsky. He had a fascination with the Petits' money, and, as prosecutors would later argue, a dark interest in young Michaela. So he followed the two of them home. Haley Petit, 17, died along with her younger sister, Michaela, on July 23, 2007, tied to their beds in a suburban Connecticut house splashed with gasoline. Their mother, Jennifer Hawk Petit, was raped and strangled before the house was set ablaze. The killers, Joshua Komisarjevsky and Stephen Hayes. Komisarjevsky picked Hawk Petit and Michaela as targets when he saw them at a grocery store. Komisarjevsky and Hayes planned to invade the Petit home in the middle of the night to score some cash. They'd allegedly agreed to tie the family up but leave them otherwise unharmed. But upon their arrival at the property in the early morning hours of July 23rd, they found Dr. William Petit asleep on the sunroom couch and a baseball bat by the basement stairs. Komisarjevsky wielded the bat and proceeded to strike Dr. Petit 4 to 5 times. From there, Komisarjevsky and Hayes bound the doctor with rope and plastic zip ties around his wrists and ankles. Jennifer, Michaela, and the other Petit daughter, 17-year-old Haley, were apprehended in their respective rooms. Their wrists and ankles were secured to bedposts, while pillowcases were slipped over their heads. After an initial search for cash, Komisarjevsky and Hayes moved Dr. Petit to bind him to a support pole. A second phase of ransacking was frustrating for the criminals, until they found a check register with 40,000. Adding kidnapping to their growing list of offences, Hayes took Jennifer and brought her to the bank. She demanded the mother withdraw $15,000 under threat of further harm coming to her family. Hayes and Komisarjevsky doused Jennifer's body and the still living girls in gasoline employed to destroy any evidence they may have left behind. The house was set ablaze, and the unfortunate Petit daughters died of smoke inhalation. Hayes and Komisarjevsky were quick to point fingers at each other as the driving force behind this despicable set of crimes. Komisarjevsky would later blame Dr. Petit for the death of his family, calling him a coward who could have saved them if he really wanted to. In 2010, Hayes was convicted of the murders and sentenced to death. Komisarjevsky was also convicted in 2011 and sentenced to death the following year. Despite protests from the sole survivor of this massacre, these criminals never saw execution. In 2015, Connecticut abolished the death penalty, and Hayes and Komisarjevsky's sentences were commuted to life imprisonment. Justice was served, even if it wasn't to the full extent that those hurt by the severe losses might have liked. And while nothing can bring back the lives of Dr. Petit's family, their cherished memories live on. Jennifer was a nurse and CO director of the health center at a private boarding school. Haley participated in varsity cross-country, basketball, and crew, and had just graduated as a high honor roll student, all while actively fundraising for multiple sclerosis research. Michaela had plans to take over Haley's fundraising after her sister left for college, and she loved cooking for her family. Carver's testimony will be used by prosecutors to bolster their charge that Komisarjevsky sexually assaulted Michaela, 11, during the invasion of her home in Cheshire 4 years ago. Exploring the triple rape arson homicide that rocked the quiet town of Cheshire, Connecticut, in July 2007, culminating in a politically charged death penalty trial. Hayes was found guilty on 16 of 17 counts related to the Cheshire murders on October 5, 2010. On November 8, 2010, the jury returned with a recommendation for her to be executed. Hayes was formally sentenced to death by Superior Court Judge John C. Blue on December 2, 2010. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. God bless.